good, my squad? How's it going? It's me, Rohan. I am back with another one of these kind of one-on-one talking videos. I'm really enjoying them. I recorded a bunch in the last couple weeks, and I feel like it's been really fun. And I also feel like my content is some of the best it's been in a while. I feel like I'm really getting um, good value for you guys based on what I'm saying. I feel like it's just fun for me. Like I'm enjoying this. The topic I want to talk about today is kind of a personal one. It is a major topic for so many people going into the medical field or going into, especially a Caribbean school. What I wanted to talk about today is why I chose a Caribbean school over an American school or any other school. So, like anything in life, is multifactorial. There were many different reasons for going into many different things, but the reason that I chose a Caribbean school largely boils down to a timing kind of thing, as well as it just kind of fit me better, honestly, just as a person. I'll go more in depth about this. So, first off, if you don't know my story, hello, nice to meet you. My name is Rohan. I am a final semester, second year medical student. I go to Ross University School of Medicine, which is a medical school located in Barbados. I just finished my neuro and psychiatry module, and now I'm going into my final module in the whole Ross University curriculum, which is MICR. I think it stands for Multi Integrated Clinical Reasoning or something like that. And it's essentially just a full review of everything we've learned, every single thing, every single topic, every single subject, every single disease, every single mechanism, every single pathogen, everything we've learned is all coming back. And essentially, the major thing with this module is that because of the sheer amount, it's very difficult. Considered the hardest module at Ross. But I would say that because of where I am right now, because I have taken all the steps necessary to get where I am, I have a lot of credibility and experience in this topic. Um, but let me take a step back. So I told you a lot of the reason that I went Caribbean was because of my timing. As I'm sure you know, if you clicked on this video, you probably have some idea of what medicine is like to get into a Caribbean school, or sorry, excuse me, to get into an American medical school or anything. You probably understand that it's very difficult. It's very cutthroat. It's very competitive. It's very demoralizing in a lot of ways. I know so many of my friends who are at this Caribbean school right now, and they applied to American schools multiple cycles, and they just didn't get in, and so Caribbean was their backup plan. Unpopular opinion, or at least unpopular stance, unpopular um, situation. I did not apply to a single American school. I only applied to Caribbean schools, and there are many reasons for this. The first and foremost, most likely being that I just didn't think I had good enough scores to get in to an American school. So I didn't want to go that route. I decided it would be good to go the Caribbean route, and um, it's not that much more of a money sink than other American schools. It's a little bit more expensive, but it's not that much worse than if I were to go to American school. And on top of that, I would finish my schooling way quicker if I stuck to the program and if I worked hard and I passed through every module. Now, more than half of the class does not pass, um, does not make it through the whole curriculum like I have or like a lot of my close friends have. And I have a lot of friends as well, close friends, did not make it through the first try, and they joined our class because our class was the next class. They ended up joining our class, and now they're doing great. So this is not a testament to if you're a good or bad student, because there's just so many factors involved in choosing a Caribbean school versus an American school. Now, if you're wondering why I'm kind of talking quietly, it's because my family is actually sleeping in the room opposite of this wall that's in front of me right now. My family's sleeping there. I'm currently on vacation. I'm in the mid semester break in between modules, and my family came because it's gonna be my last break while in Barbados. So they decided they would come and they would just enjoy the island with me one last time while I am still here. Because who knows if we're ever even gonna come back to Barbados? I probably will at some point, but I don't know if my parents or my brother ever will. My younger brother. I only have one brother. He's younger than me. I have a bunch of cousins, close cousins, but they're all younger than me. I'm the oldest of any of my close cousins. Um, so half of the reason I want to make this video is because there's a lot of stigma surrounding Caribbean schools and the option to go Caribbean. I am on social media because I consume a little bit of content, but most of my online presence is by making stuff like this YouTube channel. I've made a lot of videos. On my Instagram, I've been making a lot of videos. Maybe I'll make a TikTok at some point. I was talking to my brother about this. He was telling me maybe I should, because I have so much content I could post on TikTok. Who knows? I might get an extra. I don't make any money, so it's not revenue, but I might get an extra outlet for social media. So that might be something I do in the future, but that won't be in the next. That won't be soon, in the near future, because I have too much on my plate right now, especially with MICR. But something that is very said about Caribbean schools, I mention all the content stuff because I sometimes I'll look. I'll be on Instagram and I'll on my homepage. I don't scroll. I don't go to the Reels tab and scroll, but I'll look on the homepage and I'll see a bunch of reels. And I'll sometimes I'll scroll on the homepage, but I won't like doom scroll for hours or anything. But I'll look on the homepage and I'll see a lot of reels shitting on Caribbean schools. Tons of reels just talking the biggest smack I've ever seen. Like I saw a reel where it was like, oh, you go to American school and it's just the guy being happy, and then you go to a Caribbean school and it's a fucking guy working at McDonald's. So it's pretty demoralizing, right? But I the reason I'm making this video is to address this kind of stuff. I might be one of the most credible. I would consider myself the most or one of the most credible medical students who is going to a Caribbean school or who has a history of going to Caribbean school online or history of going to Caribbean school online. I'm one of the most credible online, and I would say that because I've documented so much of my journey online, way more than I thought I would. Yeah, I'll start with one video, and that one video just blew up. And now I've made hundreds, a couple hundred videos. And it's truly been an amazing time. It's been some of the most fun I've ever had in my entire life. So much fun. Um, but essentially, the whole point of what I'm saying is that I have credibility, and I've made it through the curriculum so far. I've every obstacle I've made, I've every hurdle I've jumped, every difficulty I've surpassed, it's all leading to me this moment currently right now, where I'm sitting in front of my phone, the camera, and I'm recording this video for you. So you can trust what I'm saying strongly and well, because you might not get as good advice eh, from any other person, I would say. Now, don't get me wrong, there's always someone more qualified, there's always someone with different background, but that's fine. But as for someone who's exposed so much of their life online, so much of the Ross University life online, I have I have props and I have credit that 99.999% people cannot say they have. So a big thing Um, let's get to the crux of this video. Let's get to the crux of this video. You clicked on it because you're probably considering a Caribbean school. You're probably thinking, "Oh, this could be something I'm interested in doing, right? Like maybe I'll go to Caribbean school. I don't know though, because everyone says it's like it's bad. You don't get your residency spots, stuff like that. That's, I mean, I'm not at that point yet, so I don't know. I don't have evidence for that, but I can speak from a basic science perspective. Many people can make it through the whole curriculum so far. Can make it through the whole curriculum without failing. Many people can. I'm evident of that. A lot of my close friends are evident of that. Of the maybe 180 to 200 students who started with us, I would say 60 to 70 of them are still here in the class and didn't drop down. There's nothing wrong with that, by the way. I hope this is coming across well. I have absolutely no hate, no stigma, no judgment towards anyone who didn't, because I've had my close calls. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to sit here and sugarcoat this and say, oh, yeah, like you won't fail. It's easy. No, it's very difficult. I almost failed neuro. The module I just took, almost failed. I was close. It was close. I made it. By God's grace and by just fucking sheer will, I made it, right? But it's difficult, man. It is not easy. It is definitely not easy. So the way you got to do it, you just have to continue and keep pushing. But why did I personally choose a Caribbean school? So there was a point I graduated. I remember vividly. I graduated college, and this was maybe a month later. I was sitting in my living room, and I saw a picture on my parents' like countertop. So I got up and I started looking at it, and it was a picture of me, my brother, my parents were. It was just us as a family. We were just chilling, relaxing, whatever. Some random picture was taken. And then to the right of that is my graduation picture, my college graduation picture. I was wearing the hat and I had my gown on. And I look to my left and I see an empty space. I was like, huh, what should I fill this empty space with? What should we put there? And I started thinking, oh yeah, like I could put my med school graduation there. But then I was like, aren't I jumping the gun a little bit? Like, do I want to wait a little bit before I really go all in on med school? Like, should I do something else first? And I remember I thought about it all day. And then by around 5:30, 6 o'clock, my mom came home. And then around 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, my dad came home. And once they both were home, I sat them down at the table, our dining room table. And I told them, I was like, okay, I have done all this prep work. I have done all my prerequisite classes. I have done volunteering. I've shadowed. I've scribed. I think I'm ready to take the next step and go to med school. And my mom was immediately super on board. She's my biggest supporter. She's amazing. My mom is amazing. She supports me in everything I do. She's my biggest go-getter person in my life. She's awesome. She's amazing. Every single time I've doubted myself in medical school, even every single time I told my mom, I don't think I'll make it. I might fail this module. She's been there. She's helped me. She's told me, no, you're gonna make it. Just keep studying. And I did. So far, I have every single module. And I can only attribute that to her. Her, um, her belief in me is what's kept me going. Is what's brought me this far. But I told my mom was, so I told this, and my mom was like, yeah, like we can look into school. But my dad, he's more logical, of course. He was like, okay, well, I don't think your MCAT's good enough to get into a United States school. I was like, yeah, that's true. I got a 504 on the MCAT, so nothing great. I barely studied. I tried studying, but it was just, I don't know, man. I just wasn't into it. I did like a month of studying before I took the MCAT, and I got like a 504. It was terrible. I was like, whatever. That's fine. I know a lot of my friends got like in the 490s, and they score better than me in med school. So your MCAT score does not define anything. I promise you. There's probably someone who scored a 512 in Ross University's Caribbean school who's like at the bottom of the class. So I'm just telling you, it doesn't matter. But I saw my this score, and I thought, okay, my dad's right. What if I went Caribbean? And so my mom, um, I think she knew somebody whose son went to a Caribbean school. It wasn't Ross, it was some school. And she told me that, yeah, like Ross University is a school that, I blah, 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 I've heard about the Caribbean, whatever. I end up looking more into it, and it looks like such a good fit. I don't know why. Something screamed out to me. One of my favorite colors has always been green, and the Ross University color, one of the colors is green, dark green. Now, of course, I'm not saying you should choose a school based on the school color, but it's just one thing that stood out to me. One thing that I really, I don't know, just something that made me feel like, oh yeah, maybe this is the right fit. Like I told you, I never applied to an American school. I never did because I never thought I wanted to go American. And you guys have heard some of my story. I've moved around the United States in multiple different areas. I was in Cincinnati, then I was in New Orleans, and then I was in Houston, Texas for a while. And I'd been in Houston since I was like 9 years old. At this point, I'm 20, 21, 22. At this point, I'm 22. I was about to turn 22, and I was like, okay, I don't want to be in Houston for sure. I want to go somewhere else. And going to a Caribbean school just felt like that fresh start I wanted. Felt like that fresh start I needed. I was like, this is a good idea for me. Like this might be what I do. Like it looked more and more real. Slowly I applied. I applied to Ross University, SGU, AUC, and AUA. I applied those four universities, and I got accepted into all of them. No, sorry. I didn't apply to SGU. I applied to Saba, I think. AUC, Saba, Ross, and AUA. I didn't apply to SGU. And I got in all of them. And I remember when I did the Ross interview, the lady asked me, she was like, "Well, is there anything you want to ask me?" She was interviewing me. She's like, "Rohan, is there anything that you want to ask me about Ross?" And I told her, I was like, the only thing I want to know is, will this really make me happy? I want to be I want to be a doctor. That's not what I'm talking about. I just want to know, will this really make me happy? Will this place make me happy? And of course, she can't answer that because they always can say, "Yeah, I'll make you happy." She works for Ross, so mother trucker. She works for Ross, mother trucker. So what do you think she's gonna say? Of course. But that's just a question I kept asking myself. But fast forward a month, 2 months later, I move in and I meet my roommates. I meet both of them. I remember I met my close roommate Joe first, and the second I met him, he told me the same thing happened to him, which is amazing. But the second I met him, all my doubts flew away. I was like, yeah, this is it. This is a good spot. I'm happy where I am. And of course, even on the plane there, everything. Orientation, of course, just walking around, I met so many fellow Ross students, and I started feeling that community that Ross has. One thing is, one school that I interviewed told me that Ross doesn't have the support that like a student needs, and I completely disagree. Completely disagree. I think that I've gotten the most support I've ever gotten from Ross because they actually care. Ross is very malleable with their curriculum. They change so much every semester because the students say this needs to be changed. I feel like this XXX. They change it. So Ross listens, and that's all you can really ask for in an organization and a school. I told you the timing. One final thing I'm going to mention is that with Ross, it just fit, man. It just fit. Um, Someone told me that I should go to graduate school before I went to Ross. I believe it was my uncle. Somebody. We're taking opinions from everybody here. But somebody told me I should go to graduate school before I went to Ross, and I debated it. But again, med school takes so much time, so many years out of you, that I feel like I just needed to have that time to not to finish it through, If I were to go to graduate school and get a master's degree, sure, that's pretty cool. I have another degree. It takes me an extra year, 2 years, but that's an extra year, 2 years I could spend not there. not done. And if you feel like you are strong enough to make it all the way through the Ross curriculum or any Caribbean curriculum, that's the hardest part, the curriculum, making it through. Once you make it through that, you will make it through clinicals, everything. You will. I'm not saying you guarantee your residency spot. Maybe if you're going into a very competitive residency, you might not get in, but you have a really good chance. I still think so. I know people who've gone to dermatology, who are surgeons, psychiatrists, all these things. It's very much it's competitive, but going to Korean school doesn't stop you from making it there. Right. Um. So I guess I'm just gonna say, if you are in this position right now, if you feel like you are on a crossroads, you don't know if you should wait to that other cycle or you should go Caribbean, I would say trust your gut. Absolutely. Trust your gut. Because sometimes your gut will tell you to wait. It's better to wait. If that's what your gut tells you, do it. Do that. But my gut told me to take the leap, and that's what I did. I I realized that I don't want to waste any time. I just want to go for it. That's what I did, and I don't regret it at all. I'm very, very happy with my decision. I'm grateful every day for where I am right now. I hope to keep going forward. So thank you guys for watching. My hair is crazy right now. It's like midnight. I couldn't sleep, so I recorded this video. Remember, guys, stay calm, cool, and collected at all times. I'll catch you, my friend, in another video. Peace.